Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy, it's a pleasure. It's always an honor to be greeting you and bringing this message of emancipation to you, whereby I'm pointing you to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. That's the reason why today I want to speak to you concerning the Christmas story and what the Christmas story really means to me based on my experience and based on what has been written in the Bible. When you understand the Bible in a psychological way, or for example, when you believe that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically, that the Bible is not literal, neither is it secular history, how would you be able to interpret Christmas and Christianity in a way that would make sense to many people all around the world, and they would put what has been said to work and it would become their experience? And so, my brothers and my sisters, it was through my own experience I've come to realize that Christmas is an experience, and it is not the birth of a child 2,000 years ago who was special and had special powers that no other one in this world has. No. When you realize that the Bible is your spiritual autobiography that must be interpreted psychologically, then you would realize it is your birth, which is your supernatural birth. So it is the birth of man as God. That is when a man will experience the new birth, which is the birth from above. St. John chapter 3 speak of that birth. And it says that he who will come to his Christ self, his higher self, will be able to say to the religious mindset known as Nicodemus, that we know of that which we speak. And then he says to Nicodemus also, are you a big teacher in Israel and you do not know the ABC? Which mean, ABC mean all about Christ, all about your higher self, your Christ self, your true self. So my brothers and my sisters, first thing you must realize is that the Bible was written symbolically, and it have no reference to anyone who existed thousands of years ago or to any actual event that would have taken place on earth thousands of years ago. From the beginning to the ending of the Bible, it's a great psychological drama. It all have to do with the human psyche. So when they speak about Christmas, your higher self, which is your God self, is hidden behind skin. But there comes a time that you will experience a birth outside of the physical act of sex. And when you experience that birth, you will realize that you came here in a body that is man. But you have to forget your office as God to have the experience as a man, which is the human experience. See, actually your spirit having a human experience. So when you have the other birth, from the physical into the spiritual, you realize it's the birth from above. But your first birth was you descending into generation by way of the physical birth from down below. But the birth from above is the birth of your spirit self, the invisible you. That's why it's only you can speak of the experience. No one can have the experience for you. It's a personal relationship. So when you speak about having a personal relationship with God, it's for you to really recognize your God self. Because if you never recognize your God self, you'll never be able to operate in your God-given power. Because your God-given power allows you to use a power that can give you your every desire. So my brother, my sisters, this is coming to know your true power, knowing your true self, and coming to understand that your identity is actually your divinity. And that is what the Christmas story is all about. But the whole world believe that the Bible is literal. And they believe that the Bible is secular history. So many people believe that really and truly a virgin woman gave birth to a child about 2,000 years ago. And he died for the sins of the world. Because they're understanding it in the way of the limited man. But when you get into the way of the limitless man, which is the true essence, the inner you, then you will understand what you're told in Psalms 82, that ye are God, nevertheless you shall die like a man. You will discover your God self, your true self, your higher self. And you will understand it through Christmas. Because you realize it's all about you and no one else. Because there's no power outside of yourself. That's why you're told in Luke 17:21 not to let anyone say, lo here or lo there. Because when they give you the 25th to believe, that is they saying to you, lo here and lo there. They're giving you a date. And having you looking on the outside and believe there's a man on the outside who died on a literal cross. It is your higher self coming here to experience death on this body. And you would have experienced the new birth, which is the real virgin birth. That will bring you into that place of knowing exactly who you are and how to operate in your power, and to use your power to uplift humanity, to strengthen humanity, to teach humanity that there is hope if they would look inwardly, to teach them to look to self, to discover the Savior, the healer, the provider. That's the true Christmas and the true wisdom of Christmas. That's why they say the wise men came with gifts, bringing gifts. Your gifts will always make the way for you. You're born here with certain abilities. You have to rise up and operate in your abilities that have been given to you and understand the true Christmas. My brother and my sisters, when you have the birth from above, you will realize that there had to be a great conjunction taking place within you of the masculine and the feminine energy. It will come to you like a blue flame and an orange golden kind of flame, okay? And both of them will come together, and you will experience a great and mighty shaking, a great earthquake. And then you will hear the unearthly wind, the mighty rushing wind. And all of this thing is taking place where? In the upper room, the high place of consciousness. It has to be mental, psychological. It has to first be a thought, it has to first be an idea. So that's the place it is speaking about, that this thing will be taking place. And it says that there were tongues of cloven fire above the head. When they had the upper room experience, that you going behind your skull and realize that you are beyond the brain, and that the brain is only a transmitter and a receiver of frequency, and everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. So my brother and my sisters, is you understanding all of this and understanding your new birth, and realize that when the Bible speaks of David, it is speaking as David to represent humanity. And that is why David will come before you in a dream and call you Father. Then you will realize why it is said in the Bible that only this Father could reveal the Son, and only the Son could reveal the Father. So it must be by an experience. For only until the Son called me Father, then I knew for sure I would have found my God self, my higher self, my true self. Understand true oneness. Understand the universal consciousness. There's only one universal consciousness. And that is why, my brother and my sisters, Christmas is supposed to be a happy time in your life, when you understand it's all about you. When you understand that you're reading of your spiritual autobiography that must be interpreted psychologically, then you will understand your miraculous birth. Those of us who would ever speak of the true Christmas, we must speak from experience. Because that's the only way you can know what the story really means. When you have the experience, then you will understand why the whole world is caught in Christmas, in one way or the other. But the thing is having the consciousness of what it's really all about. And when you have the right consciousness of what it's all about, and you realize it's you, then you see it from a different angle. And you'll understand the world from a different angle also. And you would know how important it is to have that experience of discovering your higher self, your true self, and living in a world knowing exactly who you are, and knowing that everyone that you behold without, they are your own self pushed out. For everything that is without is within. Everything that is above takes place below also. And when you understand the laws of the universe and walk along with the laws of the universe, you definitely come to discover your true self and understand the true Christmas and celebrate the true Christmas, because you are that Christmas story. It's all about you. It's your spiritual autobiography. So my brother and my sisters, my encouragement to you this season is for you to love yourself, embrace yourself, believe in yourself, and keep using your imagination to create your reality consciously. And when you see the manifestation of the fulfillment of your dreams, then you can say for sure that you know that the Creator is within you, and that God and man are one, and the Christmas story is the birth of man as God. Claim your God self, believe in your God self, and speak of your God self, and create consciously, for we are to be conscious creators, and we are to vibrate in the love energy, not the energy of fear or of doubt. So overcome self-doubt and live the real Christmas story. You show the world that you are the real Christmas story. You're bringing joy, you're bringing happiness, and you're bringing wisdom. You are the star, pointing each and every one to look within. You are the virgin that will give birth to your higher self. And you'll realize what it said, in that day you know I in you and you in me. I in the Father and the Father is in me. Be still and know that I am God. For the name of God is I am, from generation to generation. That's your memorial. That's Exodus chapter 3. And remember, you can never say I am and not referring to yourself. Therefore, my brothers and my sisters, my encouragement to you is to celebrate the real Christmas, which is the discovering of your higher self, your true self, your God self, knowing you can create your reality consciously, because it is your own thoughts that is creating your personality, and you walk with the laws of the mind and create your world. Then you will understand what it means to live the true Christmas, and that it is to remind us of our entrance and our departure. We come and we go, but we must go with the consciousness that we had from the beginning, before we decided to consciously have this experience. It's all a dream. And my brothers and my sisters, it is my wish that you would awake out of the dream and come to know your higher self, your true self, and experience the true Christmas for yourself. So in spite of all the things I may teach you, of that you can manifest in this one, the physical realm, that is to give you more faith to come to discover your real self, your higher self, experience the promise where you discover that God and man are one. So with that being said, my brothers and my sisters, I want to thank you very much. I want to say, if this is the very first time that you're listening to me and you haven't subscribed already, I'm encouraging you to like, to comment, or to subscribe to this channel. Now, just before I leave you, I just want to reiterate that the Christmas story is the story I've been telling you all the time about myself when I awake from the dream of life and came out of my skull and became invisible. And I've been telling you that it is the rising of the S-U-N and S-O-N. For it is the dawning of a new day in your life. And I was saying to you that you would realize that the sun parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun there is no life and there is no light. And without the human imagination there isn't anything made that was made. And you're told in Psalms 84:11 that the Lord thy God is a sun and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And the sun has never withhold anything from humanity, for the sun is what powers all of humanity and give all of humanity its energy. Then you're told also that in Malachi chapter 4 verses 2, that the Son of Righteousness shall arise in you with healing in his wings. And truly, when the Son is risen in me, he bringing healing for me to point everyone to look inwardly and to use your mind power which is your solar power, your sun power, your God power, your creative power. Use that power to achieve your every desire and prove for yourself how to live the true Christmas and have all of your wishes being fulfilled. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.